Okay, Kathy's here now. Serious business out there. Lots of storms. They're all out to our west right now, but they're coming this way in a hurry.
They are. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings posted for some of our counties. We'll get right to that. We have been very busy this afternoon tracking those storms, and now in the heat and humidity, we are seeing the storms firing up and dumping a good amount of rain. Now let's take it to our live mobile weather lab. This is in Douglas Township near Pottstown, and you can see the rain coming down heavily in Berks County. There is a severe cell right now in Montgomery County and Chester County, and the lab will be heading that way as well. You can see the traffic, all the headlights kind of at a standstill in the other lane because of the heavy rain. So thanks to our photographer Jim and also the mobile weather lab out in the storms this evening. You can see our observations from our eyewitness weather watchers at the bottom of your screen. Let's take it to Philly and Boathouse Row, where it's pretty quiet right now, but there is heat and there is humidity. The camera's shaking a little bit with some strong winds ahead of this cold front that is setting off the showers and thunderstorms. On Storm Scan 3, you can see this line. It has picked up speed, moving east at 45 miles an hour. Just think about how fast that is when you're driving in a car. All of this moving toward the east-southeast, a lot of lightning associated with it, some heavy downpours, and a flood advisory just posted for parts of Chester and Montgomery counties because of the heavy rain associated with this. So we have hundreds of lightning strikes, downpours, and also the threat of some very strong and damaging winds. Now, as we take a zoom in, I'm going to show you all of the lightning associated with this in Chester County, and I'm going to take the lightning off so you can see the heavy rain, and there is the potential for damaging winds as well. This is moving east once again pretty fast at about 45 miles an hour. It's picked up 10 miles an hour in the last hour or so. It will be in Tredyffrin by about 5:35, Haverford on the main line by 5:50, Philadelphia by 6:02, right on schedule, and Trenton by 6:18. Thanks, Steve. This is just in from the Eyewitness Weather Center. A tornado warning has just been issued for central Chester County. Let's take a look at that. That's until 5:45. Doppler radar indicated a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado, and you can see we are indicating some rotation over to the west there. This severe thunderstorm was located over Downingtown, or 7 miles west of Westchester, moving east at 35 miles an hour. Now, the areas in the path of this potential tornado: Westchester, Coatesville, Downingtown, Chester Springs, Valley Forge, Paoli, Lionville, Radnor Township, Melbourne, also Thorndale, Devon, Berwyn, Exton, and Chesterbrook. Now this, you can see when we take off the radar, you can see the intensity, and when we look at the radar in different types of modes, the reflectivity mode, you can see the precipitation moving toward and away from the radar. And we'll take a look at that as well. This is the area that we're talking about. The tornado warning once again in effect for central Chester County until 5:45. Doppler radar indicated a rotating thunderstorm that could produce a tornado. So act now, go to the basement, an interior room of your home, away from the windows, and wait until this dangerous storm passes. Now, this is the area we're talking about, central Chester County near Downingtown. Once again, moving east at about 35 miles an hour. And on that path, the storm will be near Norristown at 5:44, Upper Darby by 6:03, Philadelphia by 6:12 if it continues in its present form. A tornado warning once again for central Chester County. The area that we're talking about in its path: Westchester, Coatesville, Westtown, Downingtown, Chester Springs, Valley Forge, Marshallton, Paoli, Lionville, Marshwood, Lionville, Radnor Township, just to name a few. Now, Steve, let's go back into our sensitivity mode and we'll take a look at the radar. Now, you look at the different colors moving toward and away the radar, toward and away from the radar, and you can see what we call the reflectivity and the intensity as well. We are indicating some rotation right here, and that is where we are picking up on that Doppler radar indicated cell as it continues to move east. A tornado warning in effect once again for central Chester County until 5:45 this afternoon. And we look at this, you have a lot of lightning, you have a lot of rain. But the real problem is going to be the damaging winds associated with this rotating thunderstorm. So it is Doppler radar indicated, but we're talking about winds in excess of 70, perhaps 80 miles an hour if this is confirmed, but damaging winds for sure in this particular cell. Now, as it continues to move east, we're talking about the area impacted, mainly Chester County, moving into parts perhaps of Delaware County, into Norristown, Lower Marion at 6:08, Upper Darby at about 6:19. And we look at the height of the clouds. You're talking about towering cumulus thunderclouds with this extending well into the atmosphere, thousands of feet, to create the lift in these particular storms, the updrafts and the downdrafts, and then that rotation in the atmosphere, the vorticity that we need to create one of these rotating thunderstorms and tornadoes. So these typically do have a narrow path associated with them, but very heavy rain and once again damaging winds. So please, if you are in the path of the storm, go into an interior room of your home and wait until these storms pass. Once again, a tornado warning has been issued. This is for central Chester County. Doppler radar indicated this, finding some rotation in a cell. You can see the Doppler radar indicated rotation right here in central parts of Chester County, moving east at about 35 miles an hour. If we do a track on this, we can also look at the hail that is possible with this. Typically, you have a thunderstorm. It shows some rotation. Then you see some hail, frequent lightning, and those are some indications that the rotation will be moving in next. This is the area that we're concerned about right now, West Vincent. You can see along Route 40, along 76, some very heavy rain, a little bit of a dot right there of some intense rain. Rain rates with this inches an hour, so it's very difficult to see it other than via Doppler radar. And as the storm continues to move eastward, it should die down and weaken, but we're continuing to track it as it moves toward Philadelphia and our suburbs. Once again, a tornado warning in effect. Go to the basement or interior room of your home, away from the windows, and wait until this dangerous storm passes. A Doppler radar indicated tornado is typically, when we look at the Doppler radar, the precipitation, the winds moving toward and away from the radar, and when you see those two moving together or meeting on the radar, it's indicating some rotation. So this is what we'd like you to do. Chester County, go inside, interior room of your home, stay away from the windows, and of course, we'll continue with alerts right here on CBS3 and the CW Philly. Now, that warning will continue until 5:45 this afternoon, and other counties may be involved, but right now we're talking about central Chester County. And Steve, if we could zoom in on the area we're talking about, the towns, Westchester, Coatesville, Westtown, Downingtown, Chester, moving toward the main line, and you can see this area that we're looking at. When we look at the atmosphere, the heights of the clouds with the lift associated with the updrafts and downdrafts of the thunderstorm and that rotation that we begin to see, it is clear that we're looking at Chester County, possibly moving toward the east, toward Montgomery County, Delaware counties, and this is the area of that severe cell that was Doppler radar indicated. And we can turn this and try to slice the atmosphere in half and try to see how high these clouds rise, and it can give you an indication by the cloud height rising 20, 30,000 feet that this would be the strong to severe cell that we're talking about. In West Goshen, moving toward east, toward Norristown. So this is the area we're looking at right here. Thank you, Steve. We're kind of slicing the atmosphere in half, looking at how high the clouds go. And if I step out, you can see 20,000 feet, 60,000 feet, right here, 40,000 feet, some of these cloud heights, and you have the updrafts and downdrafts in that severe cell, but the rotation begins, and that is what the Doppler radar actually indicated here on Storm Scan 3. So as we continue to track this storm, the area of concern you can see through Calne, moving eastward along 76. We saw Norristown in the path of the storm, also near Paoli along the main line, Route 76, Melbourne, Coatesville, Modena, Thorndale, the Devon-Berwyn area along Route 202, also Exton and Chesterbrook. If you live in any of these regions, a tornado warning is in effect for your area. Doppler radar indicated there was rotation in a thunderstorm that could create a tornado. Whether it's a funnel cloud, it actually creates a tornado is uncertain, but the ingredients are there in the atmosphere, and they're indicated on Doppler radar that you are in the path of the storm. So please get everybody inside and wait until these dangerous storms pass. If someone is traveling on 202 or 76, give them a call on their cell. Let them know that they are in the path of a dangerous storm, a Doppler radar indicated tornado. Steve, if we could go back to the regular radar here, we'll take a look to see if there's any hail indications here or if there's anything else that will indicate exactly where this storm is, and we can take a zoom in on the particular neighborhoods. Here's the very latest, what we're talking about, that tornado warning in effect for Chester, the cities, Tredyffrin, Uchland, Westchester, West Goshen, The people affected, over 300,000 people live in this area in our suburbs. The storm scan 3 shows the area of that particular warning. You can see it in red. And as we superimpose the precipitation over it, this is where the heaviest rain is. This is where our Doppler indicated rotation is. And once again, as we take a look at our hypersensitive reflectivity mode, you can see West Whiteland and Downingtown. You can see where the precipitation is moving toward and away from the radar. Where this red and green meets is where we have the rotation. So this, as meteorologists, we look at this particular mode and we can see the difference where the clashing of the winds are created, or the precipitation, and that is where the rotation is. So this was where it was earlier, and it's moving toward the north and toward the east. So this is the area. So you can see the prolific lightning associated with it. We're talking about torrential downpours. And Steve, if we can go back to that Doppler mode, we can actually show the exact location. So where you see the winds meet, that precipitation meets, that is what we're talking about, the clashing of those different directions that actually create that rotation. So once again, this is moving east at about, I think it was 45, now 35 miles an hour. Downingtown was the original location, but it will be in Tredyffrin by about 5:40, Lower Merion by 5:59, and in a weakened form in Philadelphia by 6:13. Typically, the storm weakens become severe. You still have potential for damaging winds, but not the rotation that you typically see on the radar when a Doppler radar indicated tornado originally formed. So once again, it originated near Downingtown, moving east at 35 miles an hour. The main line 76 202 impacted by this particular storm with lightning, rain so heavy you have to pull over to the side of the road. Tornado warning in effect once again for central Chester County into eastern Chester County, and that is until 5:45 this afternoon. We'll continue to track the storm, but make sure everyone's inside and wait until the storm passes, because even as it weakens moving out of Chester County, we still have Delaware County, we still have Philadelphia County. This will continue to be a severe thunderstorm. So Steve, let's go back to the radar and show everyone. We have hundreds of lightning strikes. We have about 350,000 people in the path of this, and the lightning just covers the entire county of Chester County, and you can see moving into Delaware County, into the northern parts of Philadelphia County, and even extending the heavy rain and damaging wind potential into Montgomery County, and you can see some rotation right here as well to the south. So we're going to keep an eye on that cell as well. So typically we see heavy rain, we see the thunderstorm form, the updrafts and downdrafts creating that severe weather as the towering storm develops. Then you typically see hail, and the next thing you would see would be a rotation of a thunderstorm, and that's what we have this afternoon. Indicated by Doppler radar at the National Weather Service, a tornado warning is in effect for a potential tornado in central Chester County moving east at 35 miles an hour. Right now heading toward Tredyffrin along the main line of Philadelphia. That's Route 202, 76, getting into a highly populated area of the Schuylkill Expressway, heading toward Norristown. Once again, these areas affected by the potential heavy rain and damaging winds associated with a rotating thunderstorm, possible tornado. That tornado warning in effect until 5:45. We have a few more minutes left of this warning. This is the area of concern. You can see West Whitefield right here, extending Route 40. Also, as you move a little bit farther to the east, this is Hershey Mill, but some very heavy rain. You're looking at rain rates in this region, I would say about 2 to 3 inches an hour. Steve, if you can do a rain rate on this, at least, yeah, there you go, about 3 to 4 inches an hour here associated with this. So it's not only the damaging winds, it's the prolific lightning, it's also potential for some flooding, some flash flooding when you have some heavy rain. Typically this moves very progressive and a little bit fast, but some of the storms have slowed down quite a bit. So let's take a zoom out, Steve. We'll talk about the area once again. We do have that tornado warning in effect. Central Chester County, this is until 5:45. You can see all the highways impacted, 202, 30, Route 76, East Town as well, extending toward the main line, and some of this heavy rain will head toward Norristown and 476 into the northeast extension. On Storm Scan 3, we've been watching these cells develop. It's a line of showers and thunderstorms, some severe. It's associated with a cold front, warm, humid, unstable air ahead of the front. The front is moving in from the north and west, behind it drier air. So this is the line that we're talking about, really extending from Montgomery County through Chester County, down through Cecil County, Maryland. And once this passes through, we lose that impact or threat of severe weather. Right here, this is the hail indicator of this is where the storm actually formed. We had the genesis of this potential tornado over the central part of Chester County, and you can see these are hail indicators that some large hail actually formed in these storms as well. So the forecast came from Lancaster into central Chester County, and this is where the storm actually developed, that rotating thunderstorm. So there is a signature of the severe weather right through the central part of the county, through Westchester when the storm formed, and continues to move on toward the east. So verifying this severe cell could reach tornadic potential. As we move on toward the east, you can see the areas that will be impacted by this severe cell along 476 heading toward Philadelphia. The timeline was for this heavy rain and the potential for those damaging winds to be in the city of Philadelphia by about 6 o'clock. Still pretty much on track. You can see Norristown by 5:40, Upper Darby 5:58. It will be at least a severe thunderstorm by that point. Philadelphia, I think very heavy rain, strong gusty winds within the next 15-20 minutes associated with this, but we are still under that tornado warning, and we're going to keep going with it until the National Weather Service says that the threat does not exist any longer. But if you look really close, you can see where this green meets the red as your winds toward and away from the radar. That is the area of concern. That is where you have your potential for rotation of the thunderstorm. It's right near Tredefferin. That is where we could potentially have this tornado at this point, and it's moving toward the east at 35 miles an hour. So the roads involved obviously are 76, 202, heading toward the King of Prussia Mall. This is the area that we are concerned with, and we're looking at these towering storms going very high into the atmosphere. So this is the area of concern, and that is where our warning is posted for, moving east at 35 miles an hour. And you're talking about winds that are at least 60, 70, possibly 80 miles an hour or greater when you have this type of storm. And if we kind of try to cut the atmosphere in half and see it in a 3D mode, you can see how high these towering cumulus clouds are, these cumulonimbus that form the thunderstorms, and miles long. If you took a ruler and extended, you're talking at least about 30 miles, 40 miles, 50 miles long when you extend the storms from Montgomery County all the way down through Chester County and into Lancaster County. Here you can see how high the cloud tops are for these towering cumulonimbus clouds, these storm clouds up to 50, 60,000 feet. Remember, the jet stream at about 30,000 feet, that's where the planes typically fly. So these storms building well into the atmosphere to have the strength to create this type of severe weather. So as we continue to track the storms, once again, we do have that tornado warning in effect for central Chester County until 5:45 this afternoon. You can see the line of very heavy rain associated with this through Montgomery County, Chester County. Also a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 11 o'clock tonight for the potential for additional severe thunderstorms. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Bucks, Burlington, Camden, and Philadelphia. This just came out. This is until 6:30 this afternoon. The number of people impacted, about 4.5 million people. Once again, severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Bucks, Burlington, Camden, Philadelphia counties until 6:30 this afternoon. And we're talking about the same cell. It's going to be this particular storm, this complex that could have spawned a tornado. That tornado warning still in effect for Chester County until 5:45. But once this continues to weaken, there is already anticipation it will be a severe thunderstorm, and it will impact Philadelphia, Delaware County, Chester County, and even Bucks County. So we're going to keep an eye on that. So even though the storm weakens, it is strong enough to create at least 60-mile-an-hour winds as it continues to move eastward. The lightning associated with this, just in this little square, we're talking about 500 strikes approximately. The lightning, the damaging winds, the heavy downpours, creating concerns for flooding. A lot of rain falling in a very short period of time. And right down here, Steve, go over a little bit further to the southwest. You can see in Downingtown some very heavy rain and potential for damaging winds in this area along 282, Route 30, extending a little bit toward the east. Some very heavy rain, about 5 inches an hour in these particular downpours. And as we widen out, you can see how wide this area of real estate is. And Steve, you can measure from Pottstown all the way down through Chester County the miles of real estate that we're talking about. Many people commuting, driving through this area with torrential rain and potential for damaging winds. So we can anticipate some damage with this, some trees down, potential power outages because of this particular cell, this complex that is moving in. It's moving pretty quickly as well. Right now, about 22 miles from the city. We anticipate in 20 minutes it will be in Philadelphia. A lot of lightning associated with it, and of course, the biggest threat all afternoon has been the damaging winds. That tornado warning continues until 5:45. We have 5 more minutes. Then the severe thunderstorm warning will take over. It will be in Norristown by 5:53, in Marion by 6:09, in Philadelphia by 6:20, and Camden by 6:25. So this afternoon, tracking the potential for a tornado. A tornado warning has been issued for central parts of Chester County, moving eastward at 35 miles an hour. So please make sure everyone is inside until these dangerous storms pass. If you live in Montgomery County, Delaware County, Philadelphia County, even on the other side of the river into Camden County, know that a severe thunderstorm threat is imminent within the next half hour or so. So please make sure everyone is inside and waits until these storms pass. Any afternoon activities, practices, these storms are definitely going to make it into New Jersey as well, and that is why a severe thunderstorm warning has been posted for Philadelphia and into South Jersey. On Storm Scan 3, we're keeping an eye on potential rotation, and you can see through Abington, and also as you cross over a little bit toward Lower Providence, we have some different returns here trying to find the location of the rotation. And right now we're seeing a little bit near Coatesville, which would indicate the weakening rotation of this potential tornado. Thunderstorm wind damage reported in West Bradford Township. Multiple reports of trees down in the path of this storm. Once again, Doppler radar indicated the potential for a rotating thunderstorm that could create a tornado, and we do have confirmation of thunderstorm wind damage. This is in Honeybrook. Multiple reports of trees down, and that is in western Chester County. Also in Bluebell, a funnel cloud was reported. The caller said the funnel did not touch down. So we'll continue to follow that, talk to the Weather Service to see if they have any confirmation of a funnel cloud. That would be at about 5 p.m. So many storm reports coming in as a result. If you see anything or have heard of anything in your region, please let us know on Twitter or at CBSPhilly.com. Give us a call. We're going to continue to track this for the next couple of minutes. You can see through Coatesville, moving eastward, the lightning prolific, and as we widen out, it is moving toward Philadelphia. It's probably about 15 minutes away, and you will hear the rumble of thunder. We do have that tornado warning in effect until 5:45. It's about 2 minutes. I do think the National Weather Service will allow it to expire. We will see, but then it will be a severe thunderstorm, a line of severe thunderstorms that are plowing in, moving east at 35 miles an hour. And at this speed, they will be moving right along the line, along 76 into Philadelphia within the next 10 to 15 minutes and its suburbs before then. So if we do a track, you can see the towns impacted. Lower Marion at 5:56, Upper Darby at 6:03, and Philadelphia by 5:15 at the very latest, in Cherry Hill by about 6:30. So we're talking about winds in excess of 60 miles an hour in some spots, which could take down trees and potential power lines in some areas, not everywhere, and bring very heavy rain to the area. Also frequent lightning associated with this cell. So once again, a complex of severe storms associated with a cold front moving on through. The National Weather Service indicated on Doppler radar some rotation in a thunderstorm and the potential for a funnel cloud or a tornado. Between now and 8 p.m. in the Philadelphia area, we're talking about gusts to 60 miles an hour, downpours up to a half an inch in a matter of minutes, and the potential for flooding. A flood advisory in effect already for Chester County and Montgomery County for the heavy rain that has already fallen, and potential for more rain into the evening. But this is the main event. The storms that are coming through right now ahead of this cold front are the severe storms. After that, a few more are possible. So once again, on Storm Scan 3, we'll take a look. You can see the line of showers and thunderstorms moving through the region, heading toward Philadelphia within the next 10 or 15 minutes. That tornado warning almost allowed to expire within the next minute or so, but the line of severe storms will continue right along the I-95 corridor between now and 6 p.m. That is the very latest from the CBS3 Eyewitness Weather Center. We'll be back with more news right after this.
We continue to have our eye on the storm. Kathy?
Something just into the Weather Center. Thank you, Steve. This is a severe weather update. There is a tornado warning in effect for Camden County, Gloucester County, and Burlington counties until 6:30. We will track it on Storm Scan 3. Please, if you live in the areas of Camden, Gloucester City, Cherry Hill, Evesham, Mount Laurel, stay inside and wait until this dangerous storm passes. A tornado warning in effect for your region. We will be tracking the storm throughout the newscast. Now let's take it to Storm Scan 3. We're going to show you the area that we're talking about. On Storm Scan 3, that tornado warning once again just issued until 6:30 this afternoon. This is a severe cell, and if we can get the Campbell's Field Cam ready, I know it's a technical issue here, but the sky looks green. I just looked at it. I said to my producer, Steve, the sky looks green. And when you see that type of a sky, it is a serious indication of severe weather. I've seen it in derechos before. I've seen it in other types of severe weather, and it takes on a little bit of a greenish hue. You can see the storm is moving in. On Storm Scan 3, once again, this is a severe cell capable of producing a tornado. This is issued from the National Weather Service 2 seconds ago. Tornado warning in effect for northwestern Camden County, north central Gloucester County, and western Burlington County until 6:30 this afternoon. It's a Doppler radar indicated tornado. It means a rotating thunderstorm is capable of producing a tornado. It was 8 miles southwest of Gloucester City, moving east at 50 miles an hour. At this speed, it is going to be in central Jersey very soon. So in Philadelphia, within minutes by 6:04. In Gloucester by 6:18. In Winslow Township by 6:36. In Mullica by 6:52. I'm going to read off the towns that could be in the path of this storm. Camden, Gloucester City, Cherry Hill, Evesham, Mount Laurel, Deptford, Voorhees, West Deptford, Lindenwold, Belmar, Woodbury, Berlin. Once again, you can see this is the potential area that we're talking about here in Philadelphia through Chester down 295. This cell was indicated once again about 8 miles southwest of Gloucester City. Here is the towering thunderstorm that is capable of producing this tornado, and I'm going to step out. You can see how high it is rising, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 feet in the atmosphere, creating the rotation. Now, Steve, if we can put it in the velocity mode, this is the mode that you can really pinpoint the tornado. You have green colors, red colors. When they come together, you see the movement moving toward and away from the radar, and it's this area we're talking about. When you see those two colors coming together, that is when you can see an indication of a potential rotation in this region here. You can see when the two colors are actually merging. Now on Storm Scan 3, we're tracking the storm. It is moving so quickly, it will be in a neighborhood near you if you live in South Jersey very soon. And this is the 3D version. You can see the towering storms that are creating this potential funnel cloud or tornado. And as we rotate around it, you can see the heights we're talking about capable of producing a storm like this. Now, outside, I mentioned the sky turning on a inside until these dangerous storm passes. Now I'm going to step out. You can see Center City, Philadelphia, the storm moving through as we speak. I do expect a lot of lightning associated with this. You can see heavy downpours. It's hard to see the city. I think the visibility will stay low right along the I-95 corridor, coming down pretty heavy in Camden in the path of this severe cell. We're tracking it on Storm Scan 3. We're anticipating winds in excess of 60 miles an hour with this, and you can see the area we're talking about right along the I-95 corridor. The timing was for the storms to move through Philadelphia at 6 o'clock. It's right on cue. And Steve, if we can just put it into our regular reflectivity mode, we will track these storms. We're talking about rain rates about 3 to 5 inches an hour with these particular storms, and the lightning associated with this, we're talking thousands of lightning strikes. So a lot of this precipitation moving quite heavy. You can see the rain rate right here, close to 3 inches an hour, and that's in a line from Abington all the way down through central Delaware. The lightning is just amazing with this. We had a report from Radnor Township saying they thought they had about 300, 400 strikes. You can see over 1,000 lightning strikes from Tawaminson down through Wilmington and Havre de Grace. So this is a severe line of storms thunderstorms, a possible tornado. Doppler radar indicated. So please, if you live anywhere near Camden, Gloucester City, Cherry Hill, in areas of northwestern Camden County, north central Gloucester County, western parts of Burlington County, go to an interior room of your home away from the windows and wait until this dangerous storm passes. It's a rotating thunderstorm that could create a tornado. Act now. Go to the basement away from the windows. If you're in an apartment, a bathroom without windows, that is the safest place to be. Make sure everyone is inside. If someone is driving home along the 42 freeway or the expressway or 295, give them a call. Let them know that these storms are on their way and to get to a safe place. It's going to be a slow go on area roads for at least the next half hour until these storms move into interior South Jersey. Once again, a tornado warning in effect for Burlington, Camden, and Gloucester counties until 6:30 this afternoon. We're talking about the towns of Easham, Gloucester, Voorhees, West Deptford. The storm could move into Paulsboro, Magnolia, Woodbury, National Park, even Audubon Park, and even the Brooklawn area. So take cover now. We also have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect, and that will go till 6:30 as well. This is the line that we're talking about. It is a line of severe storms. This has been moving eastward at about 35 miles an hour. Now it is like a train moving east at 50 miles an hour. So the sheer speed of this and the momentum of the storms combined with the velocity of the wind is enough to create some decent damage. Not everywhere. We did have a funnel cloud spotted in Lancaster County. We do have some trees down already in parts of Chester County. These storms have a history of damaging winds in West Bradford Township. Thunderstorm wind damage, multiple trees down there. Also multiple trees down in Honeybrook, and that's in western Chester County. So these storms definitely have a history of damaging winds in excess of 60 miles an hour. When you have a rotating thunderstorm, you're talking about maybe a 70, even 80, 90 mile an hour wind. That is possible as well. We'll do a storm track from the severe part of the cell moving east at 50 miles an hour. You can see it is going to be really accelerating. In Gloucester by 6:08, so you have about 2 minutes there. In Vineland 6:30, Mullica 6:46, in Galloway Township by 7:03. So once again, a line of severe storms. This one cell capable of producing a tornado. The area is South Jersey. So please, if anyone is out on the road, if you have practice and the rain isn't in your neighborhood just yet, make sure you call ahead and get everyone inside to a safe location until the storms pass. So this is the area we're going to zoom in on. This is the area of concern between National Park, Westville. This is Route 30. Precipitation rate of 15 inches an hour. I mean, I've never seen that before. So this is unprecedented, tracking these storms on Storm Scan 3, and we've been doing this for about 15 years. So that's pretty amazing. Through South Philadelphia, an extraordinary amount of rain falling right now. You can see along Patterson Avenue, the area of the stadiums. This is North Woodbury. This is Westfield. This is the area that we're talking about, that Doppler radar indicated potential tornado capable of producing some damaging winds. It's moving east once again at about 50 miles an hour. And we do have some heavy rain also extending down to the south. You can see some of these roads near Avis Mills, and very heavy rain. Where you see the purple, that's about 10 inches an hour. It's just amazing to think. This is the area of Mullica Hill. So once again, that line of severe storms, one cell capable of producing a rotating thunderstorm, and then a tornado indicated by Doppler radar. Usually when we have a severe thunderstorm, the first thing you see, obviously, is some hail. The next thing, the possibility of a rotation, a funnel cloud, and then a tornado. Doppler radar indicated a possible tornado that is moving east at about 50 miles an hour, and you can see the hail track associated with this. And this right here, this dark blue over Philadelphia, this is an indication of some hail that fell as well. So the severe cell moving across the city, moving across toward in Camden County along 676 right over the bridge. It looks like the Walt Whitman under the gun there right now with some very heavy rain and potential for some damaging winds. And as we take a zoom in, this is our velocity, and meteorologists look at this to find the precipitation or wind speed going toward and away from the radar, and it's color indicated. When you see the red right next to the green, that is a sign of some rotation, and that's how we can zoom in on the area of concern that could possibly possibly be the area that this tornado is in. So right now you're talking about between Glassboro and Washington near Cross Keys. This is the area of concern. This is, let's see, this is Cross Keys Road. This is Bishop Wood. If you live in this area, this is the area that Doppler radar indicated rotation in a thunderstorm that could produce a tornado. This is the 42 freeway. You can see on our screen here with the winds gusting. It looks like it's nightfall. It is so dark from the storms. Traffic is moving along, but once again, a lot of lightning, a lot of wind, and a lot of rain falling. We're talking about inches an hour and blinding rain in some locations. So once again, 42 freeway an issue, the expressway an issue, 95, some very heavy rain. Come on in, Victoria. Do you have something for me here?
People are pulling over on the 42 freeway just to stop and take it easy because they can't see.
They can't see. Okay. Victoria is giving us some notes here on traffic that they're just pulling over. These rain rates are so high that you do have to pull over and wait until the storms pass. It's almost in a blinding snow squall when you can't see. So this is our towering thunderstorm. When we slice it in half in the atmosphere, we see how high these thunderstorms can grow, and that's how we know how strong they are. We're talking about 40, 50,000 feet. Planes fly at about 30,000 when you're going coast to coast. So this is how high it is in the atmosphere. You have those updrafts and downdrafts. You usually see hail. We've seen some of that even in Philadelphia. The rotation in the thunderstorm indicated by our velocity mode. When you see that red and the green, it's the precipitation, the wind moving toward and away from the radar, and that indicates rotation. And that's how we know where this potential rotation or tornado is. So once again, on Storm Scan 3, you have a line of severe weather that goes from Abington all the way down through Delaware County, through northern Newcastle County, and down through Baltimore and Washington, like a line of severe weather with thousands of lightning strikes moving right across the I-95 corridor during the dinner hour when so many people are on the road, this impacting hundreds of thousands of people. And when we count the lightning strikes, at least 1,000 in this area, and it's not even that large of an area. If we did a line from north to south, Steve, what is the distance on that? It's probably about 60 miles perhaps. Once again, that tornado warning in effect. I'll step out so you can see it until 6:30 this afternoon. Evesham, Mount Laurel, that's western parts of Burlington County, Runnymede, Gloucester, West Deptford, Mantua. This is the area we're talking about. Parts of Gloucester County, Camden County, western Burlington County. Please make sure everyone is inside. Go to the basement, an interior room of your home, away from the windows. If you're in a local area that perhaps is a apartment building or a condo complex, usually just go into the hallway or a bathroom without windows. That is the safest place to be. And once again, we're going to take a look. You can see the Campbell's Cam here in Camden. A lot of lightnings. Visibility is poor. If you are in South Jersey and you're saying, what's going on? I don't see anything yet. You will see the skies getting dark. It will look like it's almost nightfall as the storms get a little closer. A lot of lightning still, even in the Philadelphia area, moving across into the Jersey side, even lingering showers to the north and west of the city. And I believe this is the 42 freeway again, and you can see the lightning. It looks like it's about 9 o'clock at night because of the storm hovering overhead. And this is going to be an issue. You can see right here for at least the next half hour as the storms continue to move eastward. In Philadelphia, moving kind of slow. Looks like it's nightfall as well, with the heavy rain moving through. A lot of lightning associated with this. Obviously, the most dangerous, the cloud to ground lightning. We do have cloud to cloud, but you will be seeing a lot of cloud to ground lightning with this as well. So just stay inside and wait until these dangerous storms pass. We do have that tornado warning in effect once again until 6:30 this afternoon. Also, we're talking about severe thunderstorms that are moving through Philadelphia, that are going to continue to move through Delaware County, even Montgomery County, associated with the same line of severe weather. This is all moving east at 50 miles an hour, so it's going to be moving in and out within the next hour, but nevertheless, it will definitely leave its mark. They have a history of damaging winds in excess of 60 miles an hour. Also, hail and a few funnel clouds have been spotted earlier in the afternoon. So this is a tornado warning, once again, in effect for parts of Gloucester County, Camden County, and the western edge of Burlington County until 6 o'clock this afternoon. These are the towns we're talking about. A big impact. The people affected about 524,000 just in that warning area, but hundreds of thousands being impacted by the weather right now. That tornado warning is going to continue for the next 20 minutes or so, but still severe storms will continue as it continues to move toward the east. Seek shelter immediately. Go into an interior room or your basement. Stay away from the windows. And of course, keep it right here at CBS3, the CW Philly, and of course at CBSPhilly.com for the very latest. We're looking at the line of heavy rain as it extends from upper Dublin through Philadelphia, 295, I-95, the 42 freeway. We're looking at some flooding on the Schuylkill River, or I should say on the Schuylkill Expressway near the Schuylkill River. But you can see right here, this car is stopped and it is waiting to get some assistance as the water continues to build. So we're talking about rain rates that are pretty amazing here. 5 inches, 6 inches. In one location we saw 15 inches an hour, but just some downpours that are creating flash flooding on area roads. And you know, on the Schuylkill Expressway, there are those low-lying areas near the river, and that is what is creating the problem. So we're going to be seeing a lot of that with the heavy rain that's falling. Take a look at Storm Scan 3. This red is the heavy rain. And Steve, let's take a look at a few of these rain rates. We're talking about Gloucester. This is the area of concern, the rotating thunderstorm that could produce a tornado. This is a rain rate in Gloucester of 6 inches an hour. Now, this cell is not going to be over here for an hour, but you could pick up a quick 2 or 3 inches. And in low-lying areas, those areas that we usually see flooding quite easily, will flood with this kind of rain. Places like the Admiral Wilson Boulevard in Camden, places like the Schuylkill Expressway, Front Street in Philadelphia, those areas that have poor drainage problems will be flooding as well. On Storm Scan 3, we're back to our velocity mode, and you can see we have the velocity or the wind speeds moving toward and away from the radar indicated by the red and the green, and we are seeing some in this particular area near Andrews and Williamstown, also through Berlin along 73. So this is an area of concern. Doppler radar did indicate a rotating thunderstorm that could produce a tornado, and this would be the area that we would be concerned about at this point. That tornado warning in effect until 6:30. If you live in any of these towns, Cherry Hill, Evesham, Mount Laurel, Deptford, Voorhees, Paulsboro, Berlin, Woodbury, you are in the path of this storm. So make sure you seek shelter immediately. We are putting this into a 3D perspective. You can see the towering thunderstorms associated with it. That tornado warning in effect until 6:30. These are the towns affected. We're talking about 3 different counties in South Jersey. This is a huge commuting time. If you have a family member or a friend that usually takes the 42 freeway, 295, the expressway, please give them a call and let them know that they are going to be in for a slow ride and that there is significant weather in their path. So they should find a safe place to wait it out. I just got word that our rail lines are being delayed. I believe it's 60 minutes. Up to 60 minutes because of the severe weather, which makes perfect sense because the visibility is so poor. Visibility less than a mile in many regards. Area roads, we're seeing some folks pulling off and wait until the torrential downpours come to an end. And even calling this torrential seems a little weak because this rain is so intense. Seeing some rain rates that we have not seen in a very, very long time. Number of lightning strikes, about 1,000 with this particular line of storms. And to be able to see this type of a line moving through at this time of day is pretty amazing because the real estate that it covers is significant. You're talking about most of the Philadelphia area and the commuter traffic in this area. 95 heading down through Baltimore and Washington, 295 right now in Cherry Hill, Ramblewood, seeing potential for some severe weather through Ramblewood. This is 73 going south toward Marlton, Greentree. This is heading toward the Promenade. If anyone's shopping there, give them a call. Say, stay in, don't get on the road because you're going to be having some problems. Fox Hollow Woods, Gibbsboro, Voorhees, this is the area of concern. That tornado warning in effect for this region until 6:30. We're talking about damaging winds, torrential rain, frequent lightning, and obviously the possibility of hail. But hail would be the least of our problems right now. It would be the wind and the flooding rain with this particular storm. In Gloucester, even Turnersville, seeing very heavy rain. Rain rates here in excess of 2 inches an hour easily. Pittman, also Glassboro. You can see when we see that flashing color, that is when we're indicating some intense rain and reflectivity on our Doppler radar. Steve, can you put on our storm reports and see if anything is new into the Weather Center, because these storms have a history of damaging winds with multiple trees down and some power outage as well associated with them. Here is the line crossing over Philadelphia in the river, moving into the warning area of South Jersey through Chester County. These storms had a history of multiple trees down, and you can see a funnel cloud in Bluebell reported at 5 o'clock with these storms previously. Steve, let's take it to South Jersey. I want to zoom right in on that purple return over here, an area of concern right there near Mount Laurel, New Jersey, with a potential or severe storm. You can see through Mount Laurel, Slow Acres. This is Evesboro, Medford Road, through Marlton, this area. Let's take a look at this rain rate. This is Hainesport, Mount Laurel Road, a very heavily traveled road. Church Road, Green Tree Road. This is saying 17 inches an hour, which would be amazing. I've never even seen that before, but just significant rain falling right now with this cell. This is the area of concern in the tornado warning area. We're talking about the possibility of damaging winds, just prolific rain and a lot of lightning associated with this. Cloud to cloud, but more significantly, cloud to ground lightning. The tornado warning will continue for the next 15 minutes. And if it is allowed to expire and weaken as it moves toward interior South Jersey, remember, it is still a severe thunderstorm. So that warning will continue for the next 15 minutes. The storm will continue to move eastward. It will be in Vineland by 6:28. It will be in Millville by 6:37, in Crestwood Village by 7:02, and in Toms River as a strong thunderstorm. I don't expect it severe by then, but by 7:17. Now, the area of South Jersey we're concerned about is that western part of Burlington County, and that is in the warning. So that tornado warning in effect for western Burlington, Gloucester, and also for central parts of Camden County. So now I think the threat moving more into Burlington County, through Mount Laurel, through Evesham, and into Marlton. Thanks, Steve. The tornado warning has just been canceled. All right. Good news, Chris. Whoo! You can see right here, this is where now we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for parts of Burlington, Camden, and Gloucester County. This moving once again east at about 50 miles an hour. So at that speed, it will continue toward the shore. This is the area, a severe thunderstorm warning. I'm going to step out because it's all of South Jersey. Camden, Cumberland, Gloucester, and Salem. So it does exclude the shore, but it is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for all of those counties. Wow, until 7:30 this evening, indicating that this is going to stick together pretty good as a strong to severe thunderstorm heading toward the shore. The people affected, 1.1 million people impacted by this cell. So let's track it, Steve. Let's go back. Now a severe thunderstorm impacting multiple counties. We have significant rain associated with it and the potential for damaging winds. We have already seen flooding. We know it's been taking down trees in some neighborhoods, moving east at 50 miles an hour in Vineland by 6:33, in Millville by 6:38, in Galloway Township by 7:04, and in Egg Harbor by 7:08. It is a severe thunderstorm. It is a series of severe thunderstorms, extending right here from Camden County and Gloucester County, moving east very quickly. It's in Washington Township right now. A lot of lightning associated with this, hundreds of lightning strikes, and you can see as it moves toward the east, it is a fast mover. This was a little bit earlier this afternoon. Look how fast it's moving in. So it's the sheer momentum of the storm and the winds associated with the storm has a double impact as it moves toward the east. So it's plowing in, and it is bringing some very heavy rain along with it. Now, as we track this storm as a severe thunderstorm, it will continue to move toward the east-southeast. It's coming at about 50 miles an hour, but I think the flooding concern is going to be big as well. So if you have anyone traveling along the expressway, the Garden State Parkway, if they're down the shore and they're heading home, they are going to drive right into this severe thunderstorm. You can't miss it because it extends about 4 counties through South Jersey, and all of this is moving toward the shore point. So a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the next hour as this line is strong enough to stay together and move toward the east. And you can also see the flooding potential. We do have a flood advisory in effect now, and that's going to go until 10:15 because of the heavy rain associated with this. So it includes Cherry Hill, Gloucester, Vineland, Washington Township for the counties of Atlantic, Burlington, Camden, and Gloucester. And on the Pennsylvania side, you can see southeastern Pennsylvania, and it also includes Delaware. The reason, so much rain has already fallen and a few more showers will be moving in. So we're not just talking about a few inches of rain. Those rain rates we saw were 5 inches an hour, 10 inches an hour, 15 inches an hour. So a quick 4 inches, 5 inches could have fallen in one of these cells. And we'll definitely continue to track that and have more on that tonight on Eyewitness News at 11 after we assess the damage from this line of storms. So we have the heat and humidity. Those heat indices were up to 100 today. We have a cold front moving in with much drier air, and that cold front created the lift to create these strong to severe thunderstorms. So this is it. It is a line of severe thunderstorms that is plowing toward the east. You can't even see the towns because of the lightning, nearly 1,000 lightning strikes. Steve, if we lift the lightning, let's take a look at the precipitation where you see the reds. That is extremely heavy rain, but right here through the central part of Camden County, that purple dot does indicate some intense rain, intense wind. This is right along Route 30. You can see in Lindenwold. I have a good friend that lives there. Precipitation rate 5.5 inches an hour. Now that's not going to sit there for an hour, but that gives you an idea of how fast that rain is falling. Visibility, I'm sure, at 0. So if you have any plans to be near Lindenwold, Ashland, here's Crescent Road, Green Tree. You know this area well if you live in South Jersey. 73, you can take that to the shore. And also the 42 freeway, intense heavy rain continues to fall, and it is going to continue to move toward the east at about 50 miles an hour. Some wind damage associated with this, and this whole area continuing to kind of bend like a giant bow, and many times indicating wind damage when you see that on a Doppler radar. But this is an extreme area that we're seeing this afternoon. If we add the 3D view, you can see the towering thunderstorms. It's not just one, it's not just two. It's a complex of towering thunderstorms that extend thousands of feet in the atmosphere and have the energy and the power to be able to create this type of intensity and wind and in rain. That is the very latest from the Weather Center. We will continue to track these intense severe storms. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
Okay, one last update before we go.
We still have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect for most of South Jersey until 7:30 tonight. That includes Burlington, Camden, Gloucester counties, extending down through Atlantic and Salem counties. That is the line we're talking about. Some serious winds in excess of 60 miles an hour are possible. You're talking about torrential downpours and the potential for flooding, and obviously some real intense lightning. It will be in Mullica by about 6:37, Egg Harbor by 6:57. Atlantic City is a strong thunderstorm by 7:14.
Okay, thank you. Can't thank you enough. It's just been an extraordinary half hour here. And we'll have an update on the storm for you at 7 o'clock tonight. And, of course, our regular broadcast at 10 on the CW Philly and again at 11 here on CBS3. I'm Chris May along with Kathy Orr, Jessica Dean in Rome. Stay tuned now for the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley.